And God forbid they don't learn something. Okay. So I'm going to ask Zach, you're the first person on my list. What do we know about a squared, b squared, and c squared? What should they be if it's a right triangle? What should be right here? Zach, I didn't hear you. Oh, you got to type? Okay. Equal. Thank you, Shul. What should be right here is equal. Okay? So if they're equal, that means it's a right triangle. Okay? Which means the hypotenuse, or the side across the right angle, or the largest side, is equal to the rest of them. So the largest side is equal to the rest of the two of them. If we have a situation where c squared is bigger than a squared plus b squared, so c, the hypotenuse, is even bigger. So it's larger now, like it's my whole arm. What would happen to the angle? Would it get also bigger or would it get smaller in that case? If your side got bigger, your angle should also get bigger. And what is an angle that's bigger than a right angle? That's an obtuse angle. So in this situation, it is obtuse when it's bigger. I should say when c squared is on the bigger side. When c squared is equal, it's right. When it's bigger, it's obtuse. And then we have the converse. When it's smaller than a right angle, then it's acute. And this is going to be less than c squared. And if you don't remember the symbols, less, equal, greater. Okay? So it depends on how big the c squared is compared to a squared plus b squared. So yesterday we practiced, is it a right triangle? Now what we're going to be able to tell is not only if it's a right triangle, is it an acute, a right, or an obtuse triangle? So now we're going to be able to identify no matter what the situation is. So let's start with A over here, okay? We have 3, 9, 14. Remember the rule, C is always the largest number. So the C here is 14. So 3 squared plus 9 squared. I do not know what this is, so I'm going to put a box here because I do not know what it is, so I'm going to leave it blank. 14 squared. We'll see, Shul. Let me finish. So 3 squared is 9, and 9 squared is 81. I still don't know what's in between. 14 squared, 14 times 14, is 196. Now, 9 plus 81 is 90, and this is 196. In this case, 90 and 196, 196 is bigger. This is C, so C is bigger. So in this exact case, this is obtuse. OBT if you want it short. Because C squared is bigger. Let's try another one. 10, 12, 25. No matter what the order is, C is always going to be the biggest number. Notice in this one, 9's in the middle. 9 is going to be C. But let's continue with B. We have 10 squared plus 12 squared equals, or I don't know if it's equals. Ugh, I have no clues actually equal. I don't think it's equal either. I got to leave it blank. So box 25 squared. 10 squared is 100. And there's no shame in using your calculator. I just know this because I'm a math teacher. 12 squared is 144. And 25 squared is 625. 144 plus 100 is 244. But 244 is definitely smaller than 625. Or another way to say it, 625 is bigger than 244. So this is obtuse. Is it obtuse? Let's see the next one. 3 squared plus, remember, the biggest one is C. So 9 is your C. 5 squared, I don't know if it's equal, is 9 squared. So 9 plus 25 is blank 81. So 9 plus 25 is 34. 34 blank 81. 81's bigger, so this is obtuse. Are these all obtuse? This one's obtuse too, I think. That's lame. All right. So
you're the lame one. You're the one who made the worksheet.
I know. No, I just copied the worksheet, to be fair.
You said
This is lame though. All right. Number 1, everyone try that out yourself. Remember, C has to be the biggest. There's no shame using a calculator either. Try number 1 of these triangles. Yo.
Mr. T, when we say it's obtuse, we're talking about the second number, right?
We're talking about the C, which is the number by itself, is being bigger.
Thanks.
Okay, these ones are actually interesting, thankfully. So 15 squared is 400. 625.
So what if they equal to each other?
What if they equal to each other? What is that?
What is it called?
You have 3 options.
Right?
Yeah, good. Okay. After you do 1, you could try 2 and 3. I agree, Sheldon. I agree, Morty. Which one you're talking about, Morty? The second one or the third one, though?
First one.
First one is right, yeah. Good. No, that's not. It's 2. Yeah.
I sent you the answer.
Cool. Okay. Good. Show and Sohar, I agree with your answer number 3. If you guys are still working, if number 1 and number 2 are right triangles, so that's good.
That's right, Mr. T. You already know who it is. Silent Ho.
And then I'll do this silently. Uh, 16 is not 256. This is 256.
Mr. T, am I right?
For number 3, Morty and Angela, I agree. You guys are right. Good layout. I also agree. I'm putting equal signs. I shouldn't do that because I don't know if it's equal. So I should leave them blank. So that's a habit I have to break. So I don't want you to get confused in that sense.
Guys, we're smarter than Mr. Toble.
697.
Thank you. 697. And then I see some more answers. Julia, I agree. If I assume that's 2 and 3. And then 576. So in this case, the sum of the two numbers is larger than C, or another way, C is smaller. So because C is smaller, it's acute. Good, Sarah. It is acute. Okay. So we could all fill this in. If what? Then the triangle's acute.
The answer is right, acute.
I agree. Let's fill in these blanks down here, though. If C squared is less, then the triangle's acute. If C squared is greater, then the triangle's obtuse. Okay. What's on the next page? All right, I got this. All right. Is that in here? All right. You guys, I want to practice something that's not on this page, but will be on your homework. I want to talk about a situation like this. Let's say you had 3, 4, and the square root of 10. Let's imagine, please put this question on your page, somewhere a little bit with more space so you could fill in the answers for the other ones. With 3, 4, and square root 10. Let's say you had a question like this. What would occur is in this situation, you don't know what the square root of 10 is. If you put it in your calculator, you could get the decimal. But let's say you don't know what the decimal is. What you can do is square each one first and see which one's bigger after you square it. So for example, 9 squared is, or 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. And the square root of 10 squared, when you have a square root and a square, they cross out, so cross them out. that means that is 10 overall. So now looking at them squared, which one is obviously bigger? That is the 16, which means that the 4 was bigger originally. Now, since you already squared it, you already did the math part, you're just going to set it up as 9 plus 10 equals 16, because you already squared it. Why do square it twice? I should not be putting an equal sign. So 9 plus 10 blank 16. 9 plus 10 is 19 blank 16. 19 is definitely bigger than 16. So in this particular example, it is acute. Okay? So if you have a square root, square it first, then check which ones are bigger and smaller. And I need to show you this type of situation. Let's say you have 2 square root of 3, something like that. If you squared 2 square root of 3, so you would square that, you would give a 2 to this and a 2 to that. So it becomes 2 squared times square root of 3 squared, which means it's 4 times, this cross out 3, which ends up being 12. So if you have a mixed number where you have a real part, or what we say a rational part, and an irrational part, so the rational is the one on the outside, and the irrational is one on the inside, you just spread the 2 to both of them, and then you cross out the 3 here while you do the normal math here. And that's going to pop up in some homework questions. Okay? Does anyone have questions in general? Yes, Shua, it was acute. Anyone have any questions in general before I give the exit ticket? So I just want to make sure you know how to do it. Yes, I'll post the recording on Google Classroom. Sure. If that's so, I want everyone to have their exit ticket number 5. Exit ticket is number 5. You're telling me one of the 3 options. Is it an acute, a right, or an obtuse triangle here? Is it acute, obtuse, or right? I'm sorry, acute, right, or obtuse triangle? Julia, first one down, you're free to go. Number 4, 5, 6 is regular. I wanted to talk about the square root stuff, so that's why. Schulz, you're free to go, but stay on so I can explain the stuff. Ellie,
What, do I have to square root that one? Because that's a lot of decimals.
no, you're squaring it, so you're making it bigger. So it's 5 times 5,
Oh.
not the square root 5. Stay on afterwards so I can explain the square root stuff. All right, Julia, Shaul, Ellie, Leo, sorry. You're free to go. Ellie, why did you change your answer? Oh, I see, my bad. Ethan and Zach, no. Did you square both of them? Did you forget to square something maybe? Angela, you're free to go. Morty, you're free to go. But Ellie, it is.
Thanks, Mr. T.
You're right in the beginning, so. What is happening?
The first one was right.
Your first answer was right.
How am I wrong?
What?
I cannot scroll anymore. My thing is broken.
Is it acute?
No. Okay. All right.
Mr.
Anyone who
Did I get it
said
right?
obtuse, anyone who said obtuse, anyone who said obtuse is free to go. Anyone who said acute, stay on just so
Oh,
I
I
can
meant
tell.
to say obtuse the whole time. I just put the thing the wrong way. I got 74 and 81.
Yeah.
Good,
I
good.
just put it the wrong way. That's my bad.
I know it's very
Why is
important.
Why is it not acute then? If 74 is smaller than
Yeah.
81.
81 is
C.
greater than 74.
Oh, crack.
So the
Can I
one
go?
by itself is
Oh, Lord.
the one that matters. So this is obtuse. This one.
Damn, bro, that was a tricky one, coach. Got us
No,
there.
it was the same as the other ones.
No, yeah, it's so
Nah.
easy. I just was stupid and put the.
But yeah, that's the practice though. You have to make sure. Okay, your homework. I want to tell you what your homework will be. It is just the second page here. This is just the textbook page. I just copied it down. It's going to be the odds. Okay. It's going
No
to
way, you're doing that again? Could you do
But
that?
you skip-
9, 11, 13, 15.
skip this middle part. Okay.
So
So you
15,
just put it
17, 19.
3 to 7, 15 to 25.
Okay, it's not gonna be hard.
So
Alright,
if
thank you.
you already printed
So
out, that's
only
good
the
for you.
odd numbers, right?
Only odds, and you can skip that second section Which was right.
All right.
here. And I'll post it as from the notes 3 to 7, 15 to 25.
Thank you.
Odds.
Thank you.
No
Uh,
problem. Did anyone have any problems with the square root stuff? I need to explain it again.
Nah, it's simple.
Thank you.
I really
Alright.
suck at it.
You really suck at it? You want to practice it on Gabe? Just to make sure?
Yeah. Like
All right.
I always sucked at square root.
Have a good one, coach.
No problem. So let's talk about square roots. So let's say if you had this game, 5, the square root of 8, and 2 square root of 7. Okay,
I have a question.
go ahead, Joel.
Do you see the 2 in the square root of 7?
Yeah, the 2 square root of 7.
So you're gonna square root that, and then you're gonna square root 2, which is gonna be a 4, and then you're gonna do the thing where you square root a square root, and you're gonna get 7. So it's gonna be
Just
2 times
remember,
7, right?
squaring, this is squaring it. Squaring and square rooting it are 2 different things. So I don't want you to get confused.
Yeah.
Like,
I
you're-
got
what you're
confused,
saying
but
so
I
far
know
is
the
right.
difference.
Okay. So let's
So-
just talk about one number at a time. So I'm just going to explain it so then it's a little easier for everyone to follow if they have to check out the recording. But I can
Okay.
see you know what you need to do. The first number is just a normal number. In this situation, I don't know which one's bigger because some of them are in square root, some of them are normal numbers, so it's awkward to look at. So the first number is a normal number, so I'm going to square it. It is 25. The second number is just a square root. So what I can do is take the square root and the square and cross it out. Because square roots and squares are opposites, just the same way addition and subtraction are opposites, same way multiplication and division are opposites. So in this case, it is just 8. This one, as Shaul was saying before, both of them will be squared. So what occurs here in an intermediate step I'll do in green is 2 squared becomes 4 because 2 times 2 is 4. Well, the square root of 7 squared gets crossed out, so that is just 7. So 7 times 4, 14, 28. Let me do that in red, actually. So that is 28.
So would that
After
be
you
2?
square it, you can tell which one's the biggest, which in this case is 28. So what we're going to do is 8 plus 25 blank 28. But it should be pretty clear to you. 8 plus 25 is going to be 33. 28. The C is smaller. The C is smaller. So
So it's
this
cute.
example I just made up is acute.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's much easier to follow now.
All right. Some of the problems in your homework will have that. So I just want to